Welcome to Second Home. Kuwait is indeed a home away from home to a lot of different nationalities. This program is about how these different nationalities, with their different cultures and heritages, live harmoniously and happily in Kuwait. We've been very fortunate to have had the support of our dear Kuwaiti brothers and sisters. We hope to entertain you and keep you updated about what's happening in Kuwait. Today is about highlighting Life Again. It's a new chapter in Kuwait founded by Gautami, the popular South Indian actress. Life Again is about raising awareness for cancer, about how to prevent it, and how to survive it. We hope you learn a lot.
In the last few days that I have spent here in Kuwait, I have been extraordinarily busy. I have been meeting so many people, so many organizations, so many press interviews. And what has come through so beautifully is that there are, I believe, over 200 organizations here that are doing some brilliant social work. At Life Again, we would be very happy and actually very driven to work with these organizations or those among them where we can add strength and both of us can work together to achieve more in what we want to do. So, without taking up any more of your time, I would like to hand over the mic to our beautiful host for the evening and once again say thank you so much. I am deeply indebted to the wonderful people here who have come forward. Then you will hear the names and you will see all of them up here on the stage. Who have come forward as soon as they heard that we were planning this to launch this organization and have a small little event to just tell the people that we're here. They came forward on their own and said, you're doing something that's so wonderful and we need to be a part of that and we will support you.
The night that we've all been waiting for is here. The star of tonight is with us, Gautami, and mashallah, her gorgeous daughter, Subbu as well. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Gautami, you have a beautiful name. What does it mean?
Well, you know, Indian names, one name can have many meanings. The one that my parents most like was the one that means giver of peace.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what the world needs. We need more of you, Gautami. My name also means peace, by the way. What a coincidence.
Lovely.
Yeah. Subbu, tell us a little bit about your views on raising awareness in breast in terms of health awareness.
Oh, yes, I think education plays a huge part in that, especially in rural societies and in the lower socioeconomic classes. And I think that it's our responsibility to augment any education initiative that we have, and that can go in many different ways. That doesn't have to just be government sponsored. In my school, we host a program to talk to local girls in local schools to talk about the different parts of their body, how they can take care of themselves, things that they're not really equipped to learn and handle. So we're trying to empower different people in as many different ways as we can. And that doesn't have to be just one specific way. And everyone has the chance and the ability to do something. So I think that that's a big part of why I really love supporting this foundation and love what my mother has tried to raise up and build and protect.
Gorgeous, like mother, like daughter. Tell us a little bit about tonight's evening. What should our audience be expecting tonight?
Tonight is going to be a beautiful evening because it is a really heartwarming and touching coming together of people from every walk of life, from every language, from every nationality, race, ethnicity. I mean, there are no barriers here. And you will find people coming together on one platform to celebrate art and culture and use this platform to raise awareness about health. We're specifically talking about cancer here, but it is about health. It's about empowered living. So that's where Life Again is headed as a next step further down the path.
Loads of success to Life Again. I'm sure you'll get a lot of support here in Kuwait, and I wish you the very best in every other chapter that you do open everywhere around the world, because the world needs more of Gautami.
The world needs more of Life Again, and everybody is a Life Again now. And yes, I think this is a very, very right time and place for me to say thank you to Kuwait, because the kind of love that Life Again has received, the kind of support, open-hearted love and support, is really inspiring. I'm so touched and so encouraged. This gives me so much strength. Thank you, Kuwait. Shukran.
Life Again presents Trance. Tonight is a night of dancing and living again. Allow me to introduce to you the host of this evening. Welcome to our show, ma'am.
Thank you. My name is Ivana, and yes, I will be host of tonight's evening trance for Life Again.
Could you tell us a little bit something about Life Again?
Life Again is a foundation in India to help raise awareness to cancer, especially to the impoverished parts of India.
What about, how did you get in touch with Life Again?
I get in touch with Life Again. Haima Reddy, Dr. Haima Reddy, the co-founder of Life Again, and I are both working together to bring yoga into Kuwait. So yes, we are into health and fitness, and that's how it's my connection with Life Again.
We have a co-host for tonight. Welcome to our show, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Could you tell us a little bit about your involvement with Life Again?
Yes. Basically, I'm involved with the Art of Living, who is the main sponsor for this event of Life Again. And that is how I know the founder. And the co-founder is also a personal friend of mine.
I see. What should the audience be expecting for tonight?
Oh, they should be expecting a visual and audio treat, because we have one of the finest dancers of India who's presenting the show, and we have the top Kuwaiti singer who's going to sing for us. So it's a real treat for them.
Sounds very exciting. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'm here with a guest for tonight's show. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
So you're here to support Life Again or to watch Shobhana perform?
Actually, both. I am a die-hard fan of Shobhana, and also for Life Again, I'm here tonight.
Are you into the health awareness campaigns and things like that in Kuwait?
I'm into oral health awareness program.
So your profession is, I'm guessing,
Dentist.
a dentist. Okay. So what about Gautami?
Yeah, she is a survivor of cancer, and I'm like currently I'm a die-hard fan. Yes,
You like her too? Looking forward for tonight.
absolutely.
I'm extremely excited to bring to you Gautami. Welcome to our show, Gautami.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Is this your first time in Kuwait?
It's a first time that's very exciting for me because I find Kuwait has so much of warmth and the people are so inclusive and I just feel very comfortable here.
Right.
So it's really, really lovely. I mean, I've traveled quite a bit in the Gulf area, but I've always found so much of warmth here among the people.
You know, I wanted to ask you something else, but I cannot help but first ask you about your glowing skin. What's your secret? I mean, our viewers would love to know. It's wow.
Well, thank you. And you can see by this sheepish look on my face, I'm very poor at accepting compliments, but thank you. The only thing I would say, and actually I'm going to look at the camera and say this because I'm making this as a personal statement. I stay away from chemicals as much as possible. I stay away from processed things as much as possible. My skincare routine is as natural, like a cold pressed oils, natural oils, chemical free moisturizers or creams, coconut oil based soaps. I just go looking for anything with the least amount of chemicals in it.
Right.
And no preservatives and things like that.
Wow. Great message for our viewers. I'm hoping you're making notes for this on this. Okay, so let's start from your childhood. Did you always know you wanted to be an actress?
Oh, not at all. I had no idea what the film industry was about. I had no idea that this whole world even existed. In a year, I would probably watch maybe like 2 films a year. That was a big deal. And that too because my brother was watching something, so I'd tag along with him. So no, actually films were never on the agenda for me. We were not even on the same planet. So I had this plan of I wanted to do an MBA and then set up my own industry and go into business, be an entrepreneur. Films happened while I was doing my engineering. So I'd started doing my electrical engineering.
I see.
And when I was doing my first year, someone saw me and I was discovered. So luckily this person who wanted me to do a small role in their film was actually an extended, like a nephew of my dad's.
Okay.
So he kept asking my dad and saying, you know, like, let her be a part of this. It's just a 2-week thing and all. And my parents, they were both doctors, radiologists and pathologists, but they had a great love for the arts. And they always saw cinema not as an industry or a movie making, you know, like a business, but they always saw it as an art form of filmmaking, creativity. So they were very thrilled about that, but they left the option to me. They said, we don't know anything about this field. This is completely new to us, but it's a great medium. It's a great craft. And this is a unique opportunity that not everyone will get. You know, you've worked very hard to get where you are. You have a merit seat. You know, we have this entrance exam format in India, where you have to write an entrance exam for the entire state, and then depending on the rank that you get a seat. So I earned my seat. So they said, you worked very hard for that. But this is a unique opportunity. You make your decision. Whatever you decide, we'll stand by you.
And that itself is very unique. Not many parents willing to give that chance to the child themselves.
I
saying,
came to realize that. Yeah, I came to realize that later as I was growing up, and I saw more of the world outside, and especially after I became a parent, and I started seeing other parents with children who are growing up with my daughter. There are so many expectations. And most parents tend to think that I am the parent, so therefore I know everything that's right for my child. There's no sense of my child is an individual, even if they're just a few months old or just a few years old. There's an individuality, there are likes, dislikes, there's a distinct personality, and we have to encourage that. So my brother and I grew up like that. So we could make our decisions, and they stood by us.
Something on children, Khalil Gibran said was that your children come not from you but through you. And parents need to remember this, you know, when they're allowing their children to pursue their dreams, because this is what can happen when you allow them. So kudos to you on that. So here you were doing engineering, and then you did this 2-week assignment.
Yes.
But when was the time you realized that this is it? I'm great with this, I enjoy doing this, and I'm going to have a career in this. And
actually pretty soon after that, because I did that one little cameo, came back to college, and then people started seeing this film, you know, when it's being processed in the labs back in Chennai, and everyone is always looking out for the next new face. So they saw this girl and they said, who's this girl? She looks different and she looks new, but she's already on screen, so let's see if she'll do this film. So I started getting a lot of calls at home to the point where I said, look, leave me alone. This was not, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, just leave me alone. I have my life and I have priorities. I'm in college and I'm doing what I want to do.
Right.
Then finally there was one filmmaker who was very, very persistent, and he had been following up with us for almost 3 months. And I remember he called once and he spoke to my mother and he said, Doctor, we have the launch of our film in another 2 weeks.
Okay.
I have been speaking to you for 3 months.
Okay.
I have thought of nobody else to do that heroine role, and I can't think of anyone but your daughter. She would be perfect. She has the right blend of everything I'm looking for. You know, that age, that innocence, that attitude and everything. So he said, do one thing, come down here, meet us. I know that this is completely alien to you. You have no idea what this is, what we are about. Come, meet us. If you're comfortable, do the film. Otherwise, get on the next flight, go back, no strings attached. So my mom asked me and I said, sure, let's do that. Why not? He sounds nice. It's a nice way of putting it across. I came, met everyone, felt comfortable. So I said, yeah, I think let's do this. And it started from there.
There was no looking
That's
back
it,
then.
That's
huh?
it. I just fell in love.
Wow. You've had some great directors to work with.
Yes, yes. I've worked with a whole range of not just directors, filmmakers, co-actors. Just my whole experience has been so diverse. Good number of films across, 5 languages, 5 Indian languages.
I know, that can't be easy. How do you go from one language to the other? And do you speak all these languages? Do you understand what you're saying?
I do. I will not speak a dialogue if I don't understand it. I'm conversant in most of the languages. It's actually nothing special about me because most South Indians are like this. Most of us speak all the languages of the South. Or we at least understand and we can make our way. So it's been a great ride.
What do you think is the highlight of your experiences with the industry, with like your co-actors, anything that stands out, that this is what you've learned from this journey, that particular journey?
I love what I do. I love every aspect of the craft, in front of the camera, behind the camera. And what I love the most is that I'm never ever going to know it all. There's always going to be something new for me to learn. There's always going to be some new border for me to push.
Absolutely.
Because what I have found about myself is the most important thing for me is I can never be satisfied with myself. I have to keep pushing my own limits. And this field, this craft offers me that. You're never done, like you've never arrived.
Yes.
You constantly have to keep evolving, you constantly have to keep testing your limits.
So here you were doing this great films, and you were really high up there at your peak, and then you found out something about yourself, which could have been devastating. How was that phase for you?
Actually, quite a bit happened before that because I was working at full speed, and then at a certain point in my life I realized that I needed more in my life. I wanted more in my life. I wanted a family. I was very particular, especially about having a child. I wanted a daughter. I was very clear about that.
As beautiful as you?
No, I think my daughter is the most beautiful in the world. I found a lump in my breast, and I went to my doctor and got the mammogram and the biopsy done, and it was diagnosed positive for a malignant tumor. It was a shock because that's, you think that, okay, one after another, so many things have been happening, and I can finally sit down and breathe and just like relax and, just take in life for a bit, because I had lost my mother, then I lost my father, and then a lot of other things happened. So then this happens, of course, never rains but it pours. The reason I wasn't devastated is because I took the time to understand what my diagnosis actually was. And I surrounded myself with really wonderful doctors. So the reason I'm talking about this, and the reason I talk about this so frankly and openly, is first, okay, there's nothing to be embarrassed. There's nothing that's a stigma about this. As a matter of fact, when you take responsibility for yourself and for your health and your body, you're being proactive, you're being strong, and you're being dynamic. Purely common sense. Please be aware. Please face up to reality of anything can happen to anyone at any time, and your safety is going to be when you are one step ahead of that curve. So please don't be afraid. There's nothing to be nervous about. It's much easier to catch this and be in control than have somebody tell you diagnosis that you don't want to hear.
Now to open this chapter.
Yes.
Life Again.
Life Again was born because once I got past this whole experience of cancer, the trauma of it, you recover and you come out and you start looking at life. It takes you a little time to believe in tomorrow, because you become so focused on now. You face the idea of your own mortality and you think that death is real. You're actually looking it in the face. Now you have two ways of looking at it. You can either get defeated by it and say, I'm going to die anyway, so I'll give up now.
Yeah.
Or you can say, death is inevitable, but till then, I'm going to live the most glorious life I can.
Also, I think anyone who's been as close to death as that get a new sense of direction of what they want to do with their life, because then every day becomes so much more important.
I'm actually glad you said that, because strangely and unfortunately, not everyone has that awareness. Because I have seen enough people through cancer, but not just cancer, even other experiences, accidents and other illnesses. They get past that, they are saved, they come back to life literally in different ways, and then they go back to exactly the way they were, trying to pretend nothing happened. So those are the kind of people I feel sympathy for. Because they're afraid to deal with this is the reality and this is how I'm going to handle reality. So it's a question of, trying to hide your head in the sand, and it's an insecurity, it's a fear. So that's what I feel sorry about.
But I cannot let you go without you telling us about your costume design career. You won an award in that too. How did that happen? I mean, how do you go from acting so brilliantly, from surviving all that you did, and then also getting awards in costume designing?
The opportunity actually just came to me. The first film that I did itself was a huge film, like really massive. And it was great because, as I said, I find that I'm happiest and I'm most vibrant when I'm being challenged, when I challenge myself. I like to push my limits. When I think that I've done this and I've proven to myself that I can do it, fine, what next?
What next?
What next?
Right.
And I find that my milestones are internal. It's my world because all of us live in it, but I have to take responsibility for it, for what I want it to be, or for the change I want to make, or for who I need to be. So a good part of my energy now is focused on education and health in the rural areas. Because especially in India, there's a huge gap, there's a big divide between urban and rural living. And facilities, amenities, understanding, everything, I mean, many which ways. It's not better, worse, privileged, underprivileged, simply that there is a gap. There are many things in the rural areas, I think, where people are far better off than in the cities. But there has to be a certain availability of information and facilities, resources, which are sensitive to the needs of the rural population.
Right.
One of the things that I am doing right now, I've been doing for the last few months, is I have a radio show on one of the prime FM channels in Chennai that runs through almost all of Tamil Nadu. And that show, I'm very pleased to find, I'm very pleasantly surprised and touched to find so much of response from both men and women, because we talk about issues like how do you deal with your demons, how do you become your own best friend, or like how it's okay to aspire for this or to handle that, or you can face this. And just because you've lost something or you failed at something, it's not the end of the world. You can fight, you can do this. So I found that the greatest need of the hour is somebody to tell people it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to not be successful all the time.
Right.
It's okay to aspire for something other than what you're expected to do. That's your right. So I've realized that there's a great need and hunger
And
to
this
hear
is-
these words.
And this is valid for both girls and boys.
You should see the responses that I get. You should see the people that call into the show and talk to me. Across gender, across age groups. I have youngsters, like from school kids to, grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers calling me. And men, women, everybody call me. People from all walks of life. People who are not conversant with English, right to those who've traveled the world and who've seen it all, so to speak.
Do you think this has become an epidemic because of also what the world is exposing them to at a very young age? I mean, little girls are so self-conscious of the way they look.
Yes.
This wasn't the case 40 years ago.
There are too many people, or there are too many factors in the world around that's telling us, no, to be successful, you need to be like this. To be beautiful, you need to be like that. To be hot, you need to look like this. Yeah, so these are all labels that need to first be bundled up nicely and chucked in the garbage.
Well said.
And people need to start realizing it's okay to just be yourself. And that's the most perfect, natural way to be. And when you are yourself, that could resemble somebody else or something else, that's fine. But you're yourself. That's the beauty of being you. And it's okay to go through your fight and your journey, your ups and downs, your failures and your successes in your dream of achieving your own goals.
Right. That's beautiful. That brings me to the part where you get to give your message to your viewers. I'm sure you have tremendous amounts of profound messages, but choose one for today.
Meena, that makes me sound like I'm going around always lecturing people. Sometimes I feel like that. But the fact is, all jokes aside, I think we need to talk more in this world today.
Wow.
We need to talk more. We need to share. All of us, you, myself, everybody in this room, everyone goes through their own life experiences. And two people could go through similar experiences, but your learning will be completely different. And I think when we share, when we talk, you give somebody else a helping hand somewhere without even knowing that.
I hope you've enjoyed watching the program as much as we've enjoyed making it. Until next week, from the team of Second Home, we wish you the very best. Ma salama.